To all the viewers and a very warm welcome to Mr. Ajit Balgi for our first interaction on Startup at SP. The Center for Family Business and Entrepreneurship is delighted and incredibly honored to have you with us. Our intent is to instill an entrepreneurial spirit in our students by familiarizing them with the entrepreneurial parts of our alumni. The exciting experiences and in-depth conversations with you will undoubtedly open our viewers' eyes to new perspectives.
Before we begin, I'd like to briefly introduce you to our viewers. Mr. Ajit Balgi is the PGPM alumni of SPJIMR from the batch of 2012. He started his career as a bartender and is now the founder of a bartender training academy, The Happy High. After graduating from the Institute of Hotel Management, he's worked at the Orchid Hotels, Marriott International, Soho House, and Tuleho Portals. Such an extensive experience. I'm sure our viewers would love to hear these stories.
Now, without further ado, let us begin. Sir, throughout your career, as we saw, you have been associated with bartending at every step. What is it that you love about it?
Namaste all. Thank you SPJIMR for having me here. It's going to be a pleasure talking to you all. So speaking about bartending, it started in 2001 and it was a source of extra pocket money. Of course, it was part of the curriculum that I was studying, but what I was doing was extracurricular because it was not required as a part of the course. So 9 to 5 used to be college, and 6 onwards, I used to be in people's houses, mostly HNIs, in their farmhouses in Alibag or some luxury hotel, bartending, being on the floor, learning the tricks, because coming from a middle-class family, and alcohol back then was a bigger taboo than it is today. So alcohol was not seen as easily. So these opportunities gave me all the insight, and I started to grow and enjoy the whole wine and spirit angle of things. And after 3 years, I had a little entrepreneurial stint in the 3rd year when a friend of mine and we took up a catering assignment for a Parsi wedding of 900 people. So a caterer was doing the food, we were doing the cocktails and beverage. We in fact hired 30 first years who were again scouting for their pocket money. And after that, my friend said, "Yaar, chalo, let's start our own catering company in beverages." But I came from a very service sort of mindset. So I said, "No, yaar, let's be safe and let's go to a job." And that is where that was the first little stint, and entrepreneurship was never on mine, and I started to work. And then again, I was a management trainee, worked in different departments of the hotel, and bar continued to fascinate me. I was a bar manager, I was a nightclub manager at the Marriott in the UK. Again, I was now surrounded with wines, and I was a sommelier on the floor. And then when I came back, I started to consult on beverages before SPJIMR happened in 2012. So bartending after SPJIMR stopped a little bit. First in SPJIMR alcoholish, I can say it on this platform. So then for that 1 year, there was nothing. And after that, I got into loyalty marketing. It was a IT company, actually, tech, but dealing with food and hospitality, something like the Swiggy or the Zomato Pro of sorts. It was early in time, but 8 months, I realized that that was not what I wanted to do. 8 months of sitting in front of the PC, and that was not. And I quit to come back to alcohol. And for 1 year, I did not find the job I wanted to. I was jobless per se. And after a year, I said, "Yaar, kya karu?" And I became an entrepreneur by force. And it's been 8 years. It's been a good journey.
That was a very adventurous journey. I mean, seriously, just coming from a service background and moving on to entrepreneurship is always very difficult, I think. So what is it that the world thinks about entrepreneurship, but what it actually is?
Well, I don't know what the world thinks, but if you look at media, what it shows it is about having one smart idea, and then you seek funding, then you become a unicorn, and everybody thinks entrepreneurship is there. Ki 2 saal mein crorepati is the concept of what I see, but you don't see failed entrepreneurs in media. You don't see the pain that entrepreneurs go through. I mean, entrepreneurship does not mean a big company. It could be just a thele wala trying to sell samosas. So many efforts that go in and so many obstacles. So the world thinks, yaar, ek idea dhondo ki funding mil jaye 50 million, and the problem is people think that you're a successful entrepreneur when you've had that funding, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, exits. So the entrepreneurship world in today's date is equal to valuations more than substance in the business is what I think. But for me, what entrepreneurship is joy of doing what I like to do. So,
All right. So, since we're talking about entrepreneurship, what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur? Do you think you were born as an entrepreneur or eventually developed skills?
well, the biggest skill that an entrepreneur needs to have is daring. You know, some Hindi movies have also, and I am absolutely opposite. I am risk averse. So I am taking entrepreneurship at my own pace. And that skill of being wo daring aana chahiye, that skill is developing along the way, where I am thinking that chalo yaar, I am taking risks. But yes, I am learning to be an entrepreneur. No, I was not born an entrepreneur. I was always a service guy, 9 to 6 maybe, and weekends off. But I am learning along the way. So what am I enjoying? First is work never seems like work because I like to do what I do. So mostly you'll see me answering emails at 5 a.m. It is not the 5 a.m. club. वैसे कुछ नहीं है. मैं मोटा हो गया हूँ, so I'm going to the gym in the morning. So I wake up at 5 these days. That's it. Not for work. But the mobile हाथ में आ जाता है तो work begins. I'm replying at emails. And सोने से पहले तक 12 बजे तक मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. I have mobile on my hand because I have Instagram and Facebook and all of that to do. So I'm working. But it never comes as stress. I never wait for a Friday evening or a Saturday or a Sunday. I would, although in my company now we are 6 days working, I would like to move 5 days. That's for the colleagues that I have at the moment, only 1, but I would want to move 5. But as an entrepreneur, I can work all 7 days and it's fun. It does not feel like stress. So that's the good part that I like what I do. Second is the joy of employment, giving employment. I mean, employment does not mean just a colleague who is working with me. It means it could be a vendor that I'm working with for a social media agency, be it a PR agency or be it a vendor whom I buy equipments from. So you are creating so much economy around what you're doing. So that joy is there. You know, everybody is growing. So that's the joy that I feel of being an entrepreneur.
I would really love to have a life like this. I mean, to do what you actually like is what is the end goal, right? So coming to SPJIMR, your journey at SPJIMR would have exposed you to a lot of things. So what significant impact did SPJIMR have on your career trajectory or even on your company that you're building right now?
Well, when it comes to SPJIMR, to be specific now, the idea was कि चलो यार दारू से दूर जाते हैं क्योंकि पैसे इतने नहीं है जो मैं कर रहा था उसमें. And after SPJIMR, पैसे मिले. What I wanted. So I grew like 3x after SPJIMR from what I was earning. But the point was, after 8 months, I realized कि यार मजा ही नहीं आ रहा है काम में. So क्या करना है? And this is where the 1 year at SPJIMR also played a part. With all the Gita lessons and the NGO bit. Yaar, kya karna hai? Life is short. You're doing something that you'll be doing for the next 40 years and you're not going to enjoy. And then and money yaar, kitna bhi ho, it has relative value and that diminishing, whatever you call it, after a certain point. So then I said, theek hai. So that was one major takeaway from SPJIMR is contentment is probably one thing I took out. And second was ethics. When it comes, so I'm still not giving back to the society. ऐसे मैं मतलब donate नहीं कर रहा हूँ, no CSR, but at least in what I am doing, we are pretty ethical. Like for example, we run a school, students come to us. we reject at the moment. That's why my colleagues are some dhanda chhod rahe hain. We reject 60-70% of them because we think that they'll pay us to do the course, but they are not going anywhere with it. So we are very transparent with them कि यार ये करोगे तो ऐसे ऐसे हो जाएगा, अभी आप सोच लो इतने पैसे डालने आपको नहीं डालने. So at the end of the day, we get, say, out of 30, one student comes in, that 29 almost, I mean, at least 10 more could have been converted, but we let them go because we think that, yeah, it's their life. Why do we want to play with it? So that sort of things have come in. I mean, of course, it came from home. And at SPJIMR, they just got reinstated that business matlab aisa nahi ki yaar samne wala ka paisa le lo. So we are okay with that, and yeah, life is good. So the idea is at the end of the day, when you put your head to the pillow, you should get a good night's sleep is what I am aiming for.
Correct, sir. That is very true. Sir, so if you're talking about SPJIMR, can you describe the biggest aha moment that you had here?
Yeah, aha moment, matlab in a room full of 99 engineers, I could survive. And plus the point was, for me, it was aha. I don't know about the others, what was their aha. For me, it was like I could learn so much from engineers because I did not come from that background. And other, I mean, maybe accountancy and some other, because you know how it is, right? The ratio is skewed towards engineers. So I could learn so much about IT from them, be it ERP and this, because all your case studies and discussions and whatever happened around those. So my perspectives really grew. And I thought that, yaar, itne alag nahi hai engineers. So probably that, I mean, I could think of more, but I think this was the highlight. Everybody's introducing, everybody's an engineer. So I said, okay, yaar. Then I felt like that black sheep. Normally, because yaar, engineers, India mein kaisa engineers are considered intelligent. Hotel management kya matlab isko kuch nahi aata, to isne ye kar liya. Well, that was my case. I mean, I couldn't become an engineer because I hated math. Otherwise, everybody's an engineer in and around me, like my sister, everybody. So I did hotel management because it was an escape route. I didn't know. But the point is, you need to be smart to run a hotel. Only then, now I know, and I can pass on that particular piece that every profession needs that bit. But generally, India mein engineer or doctor. So for me, aha was, yaar, sab hamare jaisi hain, ek hi hai. So that was the aha.
You wouldn't believe both of us sitting over here are engineers.
No, I mean, I could think, but now I see a lot of people on my LinkedIn. They are juniors from IHM, and I can see that they are in a lot of top B schools. So that diversity factor is probably coming in to make classrooms more interesting. And probably I was one of the most interesting guys in the classroom, one of the most, because I had with me Mr. Dipankar, who was a two-time Olympian, India's first badminton Olympian, who was our batchmate. We had a retired army major who was a batchmate. So, I mean, these stories were also really interesting in class. And theirs were more, of course. Yes.
Okay, so coming to our last question. What do you believe that you could have done differently, and what kind of any experiential learning that you would like to share with us, and which can benefit us as a part of learning from the experience of others?
Well, the first thing I learned, everybody I think goes through the same mistakes. I also did, but I can advise ki mat karna is free mein kuch mat karna, because free is not valued. Charge a token, charge whatever, otherwise free is not valued. Because free kaise aata hai? When you became an entrepreneur, earlier you had a chair, you had that position, and then you became an entrepreneur. Everybody knows now you're on the other side, and they'll be like, main tere ko platform deta hu. So that platform ke chakkar mein, you are a scared entrepreneur, you're just beginning, and then you end up doing a lot of work for free. That free should actually be chargeable, whatever little amount, because you're starting up maybe, but free is not valued. People take you for granted. So never do anything for free, absolutely. And ask for money, you will get paid. And this happens still today. Recently, a research company from the UK approached. They wanted to talk to me to get an insight on the Indian wine market and all of that. Of course, I mean, now with what I see, I know those research reports are going to be sold, and they promise me the research in return, the report. I said, what do I do of the report? I'm giving you insights, and probably I know a lot of it. Of course, I would love the research report, but it cannot be against my service. So then I said, I will charge X number of amount. He's like, no problem, we are okay with your fee. So only when I asked, that they just transferred. Otherwise, you lose another opportunity by doing things for free. So don't do anything. That's the first one. The second one is, as a bootstrapped startup, you are always thinking that I will do things by myself, which I used to do. And I was really bootstrapped. So even if I thought that, chalo, main ek hire kar leta hu kisi ko, I may not have been in a position to do it. But if you think you have the resources, you should hire somebody early on, as soon as possible, because then two becomes better, because you have better discussions. You have somebody to discuss with. You don't take work back home or need somebody to discuss. Two people are better than one. So try and hire as soon as possible. Of course, we had consultants working, like agencies working, but it's still, the ownership isn't there as much as a full-timer. So don't wait too long to hire. I waited maybe 6 years. I mean, everybody has their own situation. So you gauge your own situation. There is no right or wrong, but try and multiply in terms of numbers. You don't want to be a 500 company whilst you're firing people tomorrow. For me, hiring is like, if I hire somebody, it should not be that I'm firing it tomorrow. So that is not the kind of business I want to run. I mean, if you join us, your lifetime is the, so we hired really slowly, but yes, try and hire at the earliest. And the last is not based on my experience. Somebody told me one day that if you get into a business, go through it for at least 5 years. 5 साल के बाद चाहिए तो बंद कर देना, क्योंकि आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि it has to go through the entire cycle for you to know that वो business चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा. So for me, 2014 to 2019, 5 साल हुए, I took that advice and it was going good on the consulting side of things. But I thought कि यार मेरा तो सब, all my eggs are in one basket. So I said, okay, how do I now diversify? Hence the academy bit came in, so that could be slightly more independent and independent of me. So 5 years is that incubation period. So hang around. It's tough, but hang around is the advice.
Thank you for those 3 wonderful advices. And it was a great time talking to you. And I hope our viewers enjoyed our bit too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rohit, Ashfa, and Shatika. It was fantastic. Thank you very much.